Starting again now. Cool, so we've got Mohammed up talking about DevShop.
Yep.
Didn't mention this at the start, but afterwards we usually go to Drupal to continue on the Drupal conversations. So it's just down the road a little bit. A few of us going, so please do come along.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. So hope you guys had a great presentation about SEO in Drupal. So let me introduce myself first. I'm Mohammed Imran, and this is my Twitter handle. So you guys can tweet about my presentation on Twitter live. So, and I'm working for Zyzy Asia as a Drupal developer. So in Zyzy, what we do is we help people to integrate Drupal with Alfresco. So clients can use Alfresco as a backend and Drupal as a front end. And also I doing Drupal since 2012 as a backend developer as well as a front-end developer. And also in Drupal.org, I'm the maintainer of the GBL connector module. And also I'm the co-maintainer for the jQuery timer module for the Drupal. Right, so today I'm going to speak about an interesting topic that is how to deploy and manage Drupal sites using open source tool called DevShop. So did anyone use Eiger or DevShop in your Drupal deployments before? Okay, quite a few guys. So before moving into my presentation sessions, I would like to go through my agenda. So this is what I'm going to cover throughout my presentation session today. So first I'm going to talk about the problem. So in this section I'm going to talk about a little bit briefly what are the problems that we are facing when we do Drupal deployments manual ways, right? So after that I'm going to talk about a little bit what is OpenDevshop and what are the benefits that we can gain by using OpenDevshop in Drupal deployments, right? So finally I'm going to show you a video demonstration. So that will include how to configure OpenDevshop in Ubuntu server and what are the major functionalities that OpenDevshop provide us to deploy Drupal effectively, right? So problem definition. So first we'll try to understand what is deployment. So we can simply say deployment is when you release your codes to Drupal environment from your local environment can be simply defined as deployment, right? So if this environment is single one to be released all your codes to, that won't take much time or effort, right? But in terms of professional environments, for clients, we should maintain dev environments and test environments as well as pre-production environments and production environments, right? So if in this case, if we wanted to move some code changes to our Drupal website, it will take much time as well as much cost as well as considerable resources as well. So these are the main problems that we are facing when we do Drupal deployments manual ways, right? Okay, so for overcome these problems, we should use some deployment methods that can give us some abilities to deploy Drupal effectively and quicker way, right? So as a proposed solution, what we can do is we can maintain a separate server as a parent server, and we can install all the deployment tools into that separate server, and using that server we can deploy all the other servers, right? So in this case I'm referring the deployment tools as Eiger and OpenDevshop. OpenDevshop is itself a Drupal site as well as set of drush commands, right? So we can use that OpenDevshop to install all the other Drupal instances on several servers, right? In other words, we can simply say one Drupal to rule all the other Drupals. Right, so what is OpenDevshop? Did anyone use cloud hosting platforms like Pantheon or Acquia before? Okay, cool, quite a few guys. So why I'm asking is OpenDevshop is pretty much similar to Pantheon or Acquia. The only difference is OpenShop is fully OpenDevshop is fully open source. So you can fork it and whatever you want to do with free, right? So, and also OpenDevshop is built upon Aegir, right? So Aegir is set of drush commands that manage servers and websites. Okay, so what are the benefits that we can gain by using OpenDevshop? The first one is you can use your own servers. If you are using like Pantheon or Acquia, we need to rely on their hosting servers, but in this case you can use your own servers. As well as you can use your own Git repositories, right? For example, if you have a Git repositories like Bitbucket or whatever preferred Git repositories, you can configure it to DevShop and you can use it. The other thing is you can configure your domains and DNS as your wish, right? And other thing is you can improve the performance of your sites, right? In the sense you can improve your performance of the servers according to your wish, right? The most important thing is the freedom, right? Because the OpenDevshop is an open source product, so you can fork it and you can change it according to your wish. Okay, so in the next I'm going to show you a video demonstration. So in this section I'm going to show you how to install OpenDevshop in a Ubuntu server, as well as what are the functionalities that has to improve our deployment strategies in Drupal. Okay, so install OpenDevshop. First you need to SSH into your server, right? Already for the demonstration purpose I have logged into my server. So first thing what I'm going to check is hostname, because this is pretty much important, because you need to have a fully qualified domain name as a hostname. Because once the OpenDevshop is finished its installation, it will give you a one-time login URL based on this hostname. So if your hostname is not fully configured with a fully qualified domain name, you won't be able to access the OpenDevshop dashboard. So you have to be careful in this. So next I need to switch my user to root, because all the installation script for DevShop should be run under root user. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to install installation script for the DevShop. You can get this installation script using a wget command. So basically what this installation script will do is, this installation script will download an Ansible playbook from the Git repository of the Git DevShop, and it'll do all the configurations for you. So you don't want to configure anything on the server, because all the configurations are handled by installation script. So what you have to do is you just download the installation script from the DevShop Git repository and just run the script as this. Okay, this will take some time to install, so I skipped the video, that's why it's happening quickly. So as I said earlier in the presentation session, end of the DevShop installation, it will create you a one-time login URL. You can see here. So in this demonstration, I'm using a server as my virtual machine as my server. So I need to make sure that the host name is in my local machine host entry file. So next I'm going to check that one. So here you can see I put the host name as my local machine host entry. So now I can access the DevShop one-time login URL. For the first time when you log in, when you use the login URL, one-time login URL, you can be able to set the admin password for your admin user for the DevShop. So next I'm going to make sure that my credentials are working properly on DevShop side. So this is the login page of the DevShop. Okay, so my credentials are working fine. So for the first time when you log in into the DevShop, you will land it into the page like this. So for now, next I'm going to show you how to configure all the other servers into DevShop. For this, you need to go to the servers and you have to click the add new server button. So here you can see, once you click the add new server DevShop will create your SSH public key for you. This is pretty much important because we need to put this SSH public key into our target server's authorized keys. Right? By putting this only, we are giving the permission to the OpenDevshop to deploy our codes into the target server. Then you need to put your target server's host name and the server's IP address and server's database configuration. In this case, I'm using MySQL, so I need to put MySQL configurations here. And also web server configurations I need to put here. So once you click the save, it will list down all the servers that you created here. For the demonstration purpose, I have already created two servers like dev.example.com and the test.example.com. So next I'm going to show you how I created those. So if you go to devexample.com and go to the edit page. So here you can see I have put server hostname as dev.example.com and IP address as my server's IP address and MySQL configuration of my server as well as the Apache configurations of my server. So likewise, you can configure whatever servers you want to into DevShop. After that, you can use this OpenDevshop instance to deploy your Drupal codes into individual servers. So next, I'm going to show you how to create a project within the servers. So for that, you need to go to a Start New Project. Here, you need to put a project name for your project. And here, you need to put a proper Git URL. So once the OpenDevshop start to deploy your code into servers, it will grab all the codes from the specific Git repository that you mentioned here. And later on, when we created environments, we can use that specific tags or branch of the Git to create environments. So next of the configurations, you can leave it as it is. But if you want to configure it more, for example, if you want to use Git hooks or web hooks, so you can configure it here. And also you can put a live domain name for your project here. And that under default environment settings, if you are using single server to host multiple environments, you can configure it here. Okay, so next, so far what we did is we created servers and we configured it to the DevShop and we created a project as well. And next I'm going to show you how to create environments within the project. So as you can see here, for the demonstration purpose, I have already created two environments like dev and test. And we already created two servers as well for dev server and the test server. So individually, I have pointed these two sites into my dev server and the test server separately. So let's see how I created one of those environment. For that, you need to go to the create new environment. So here you can put a server name for that. For example, if I'm going to create a dev server, I can put like a dev.server devshop example.com. And as I said earlier, we configured a Git repository URL for our projects. So DevShop automatically picks all the tags and branches from that specific Git URL. So here, if I wanted to create a dev environment, so I can just select dev branch. And also individually, I can say I want to deploy this dev site to my dev server like this. Database server and the web server, I can select one of those from here. Okay, so far what we did is we created servers and we configured that into our DevShop site, and we created projects. We created a project and we created two environments within the project called dev.example.com and the testexample.com. So next I'm going to show you how to sync file and data within two environments using DevShop dashboard without logging into servers. For that, you need to log into the DevShop using your credentials. And you need to go to the projects. So as you can see here, I have maintaining 3 servers. So first one is where I have installed my DevShop instance, and the second one is for my test environment, and the third one is for my dev environment. Then you go to projects and click server, project name. So here you can see I have already configured 2 environments, test and dev. So each and every environment is separately configured to 2 servers that I created before, test.example.com and dev.example.com. So next what I'm going, so you can see here. So this is my dev site, devserver.example.com, and this is my test site. You can see here there is no data yet. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some data on my dev site, and then after that I'm going to sync that database into my test database without logging into servers by using the DevShop. So here I'm adding one article on my dev site. So you can see that's added successfully in my dev site. If I go to my test site, there is no data yet. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to sync dev database into test without logging into the servers by using the OpenDevshop. For that you need to go to the dev and just click dev as a source. And here you can copy the files as well from the dev server, but in this case I'm just copying the database from dev server to test server. So I'm clicking the copy database from source and deploy data. So you can see here it's syncing the data. It will take some time, but less time than manual ways, because in manual ways, if you wanted to sync the database, we need to individually log into the servers and import the database from the servers and re-import it into the target servers. So in this case, it won't take that much of time. It's all happening in the back end. So this is much easier way to sync databases through environments. So it's sync data successfully. We'll see how it's get affected on the test site. So here no data yet. So now you can see all the data that I import into dev site. It's now synced into the test site. Okay, and also other thing is, if something goes wrong when you are deployment, you can easily restore by using DevShop because it automatically creates backups for you when you start a deployment. So here you can see before sync, it took a database dump, and if something goes wrong, we can restore it very easily by using DevShop. So next what I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you how to sync, how to switch branches using DevShop without logging into the servers. So here you need to go to the code, and I can just select dev branch. So hit the deploy button. So it will also take some time to sync the data, sync the files. So you can see the deployment is successful. So here you can see the branch is changed to version 1.2 of my dev tag. So if I go to Git, so here you can see the branch is on now dev. So it's changes the branch from master to dev. So likewise, you can do a lot of deployment tasks on by using DevShop, and also you can configure it as you wish because it's open source, and also you can monitor all the logs within one Drupal instance called OpenDevshop. So likewise, you can do a lot of stuff using OpenDevshop. So hope you guys had some understanding of OpenDevshop so far. So if you have any questions, just ask now. Okay.
When you were setting up the dev and test servers, I saw options for Apache and Apache SSL. Does OpenDevshop also support Nginx?
Yes, it supports Nginx, but in this demonstration, I didn't explain it. For basically OpenDevshop is built on top of Aegir, right? So Aegir is the one have some of the plugins we have to install to support Nginx.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What else?
So it kind of looks as if this is just a front end on top of Aegir.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Yes. The thing is, the Aegir is not giving us the rich interface for the user handling the sites, right? But OpenDevshops, what this is doing is it gives us a rich interface to handle all the deployments in OpenDevshop. Basically, it's like we can use Aegir, but some of the proficiency are changed in OpenDevshop. For example, say database backups and all. So those kind of functionalities are specifically on OpenDevshop. If we use Aegir and all, I don't think we can use such functionalities in Aegir.
Sorry, could you start that again, just so that we can get that fully? Sorry.
I remember using Pantheon, and you can use Pantheon for free, but as soon as you want to use it in a professional way, you have to pay for it. In this case, with the cluster that you need of Aegir and so forth, is it fee? Do you have to pay, or?
No, this is a totally open source product, so we don't want to pay anything, but the only difference is we need to do some server configurations here, right? If you used a Pantheon or Acquia, we can straightforward to use their system, so no need to pay anything for OpenDevshop because it's an open source tool.
Thanks.
When you were installing, when you were installing, you said you just run a simple script and it installs everything.
Yes.
Is it just as easy to update to the latest versions when they're released and reliable? Does anything?
Yes, indeed. So far what I used is 2.x version of Aegir. So when they change the installation script, So they will put it into their documentation page. So just we can grab the Git repository URL of their installation script there, then we can simply run it here.
How about to upgrade or update OpenDevshop?
I'm not sure
once
about
it's installed, how
Yeah.
is it to then further upgrade it?
I don't think so. There is a straightforward way to upgrade, because so far the latest version is 2.x, and it will only support Drupal 6 and 7 site. So there is the latest comes in next month, 3.x. It will support Drupal 8 as well. So actually I don't know how to upgrade the Hager to the latest versions.
Thank you.
Which sites have you actually used this on? Real world sites.
Sorry?
Which real world sites have you used this on? Like out there?
I use this a site called Pen.org. So they have 3 professional environments for dev and test and production. So yes, for that site only we used so far.
Was it successful?
Yes, indeed, so far.
I'm just wondering about the scenario where you're making some improvements to an existing live site, and it's a live site where people are creating content all the time. So you couldn't just send all your content from your dev site to your production site. Can you be selective in some way? If you want to just send settings and not content or something?
Yeah, for this demonstration, I just wanted to tell how to sync the database. But in real world, what we are doing is we are using features and all the stuff to migrate our configurations to live site, right? So since we are using a Git repository here, we can move all the feature code into Git repository. So we can simply pull it into our servers by using the OpenDevshop, and so we can configure it by using the feature module on the live site.
So it only works with settings that support features?
Yes.
Anyone else?
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.